Barrel on a savage action. And the good thing is these are all the tools we need: torque wrench, some anti-seize, some tape, a action vise, your barrel nut, lug, all that good stuff. Today we're going to install a Shilen 6-dasher barrel. Make sure everything's cleaned up, your threads all cleaned up in your action. I already have my action in my NSS action vise here. I put a little blue tape around it just to help it stay nice. Some people do, some don't. Make sure it's torqued down, and then take your anti-seize and apply it to the threads of your barrel. Now I just use a little pipe cleaner here to do this, and we're going to do this so it goes on easy, and then when you ever want to remove the barrel, it's not too much of a pain in the butt. Alright, anti-seize is on. I check my lug, make sure it fits, everything's good. So now it's time to thread on my barrel nut. I'm going to go ahead and thread that on. Now we're going to thread that on pretty far up, right? Because we got to make sure we have enough room to screw our barrel on. And then once I get that all the way up in there, I am going to go ahead and grab my lug, and we're going to slide that lug up on there. Now the lug's on there, put it in there. Now I just want to get the barrel on there enough to hold the barrel so it can support itself. And once I do that, then that's fine. I don't want to go too far because then I have to back it out some, which I'll probably have to do anyway. But now I'm going to go ahead and get my go gauge. I have a 6mm dasher go gauge here. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go ahead and get my bolt. Now, I removed the ejector, and you can see I have a short showing you how to do that. But I removed the injector, and now I could take this, and I could put my go gauge right in, and there's no pressure on the go gauge pushing it. Now I take the bolt, and I'm going to slide it into the action. And just slide it right up under the action. Let it go all the way in. Make sure your go gauge stays lined up. Close and lock the bolt. I got to back out the barrel a little bit here. Okay, here we go. Bolt's closed. Now I'm going to take the barrel, line up my lug first. Now I'm going to take the barrel and screw it down until it hits that go gauge. You'll feel it. Screw it down, not hard because you don't want to hurt the go gauge. So screw it down, hit the go gauge, right? And once it hits, I'll back it off a little bit and do it again. So I want to make sure I'm actually hitting the go gauge and not hitting a tight spot on the threads. So I'll do this a few times. I'll, gently back it out. Then I'll gently twist it again with my fingers until I feel that you could actually feel the metal hit it, that feeling, that little dead stop. And now once I get that right, after I do it a few times, I'm going to go ahead and twist my barrel nut down to it. Careful not to move that barrel once you do that. So twist the barrel nut down. Now I'm going to grab my torque wrench. Now I am going to torque this nut down to 50 pounds. You could go to 60. You could do some research. People do all kinds of different things. I found 50 is plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and get my torque wrench out here. Let me set this real quick to 50. All right. Once we get this thing set to 50, I am going to go ahead and get this thing torqued down real quick. Now, guys, don't wrench too hard. If you want to go 60, that's fine. 40 will do it. But I'm just going to do 50 right now. Let me work this thing in there. And there we go. Click, click. Up 50. We're looking good. So that's that. So now we're torqued on, right? So all good. Now I want to check my headspace. Now I got my go gauge. I don't have a no-go gauge. You should have one to do this, but I don't. I put some tape on my go gauge, and that's worked for me many times, dozens of times. So I put some tape on it. Now I'm going to slide it back in there and put it on my bolt and push it in softly, gently, and it shouldn't close. See the bolt? It's not closing with that tape on the go gauge. So I'll take it out. I'll pull my tape off. And then I'm going to slide it back in there, just the go gauge with no tape, put it back on my bolt, push it back in there. Now look, it closes. See that? It closes, no problem. Barrel install complete. I slap it in a KRG Bravo chassis, put some glass on top, and take it out for a quick break-in. Now, some people say break-in is required, some not. I like to do a few 50-round break-in here, and looks good.